All right. Welcome and thank you for attending our second teach-in. Today we will be presenting on power and institutional hierarchy. We are the coordinating committee of the demands of Black students across campus. Our presenters are Shira Greer and Simone Reed, accompanied by myself, Jessie Amanqua, Kayla Corbin, Katiana Isaac, Jordan Lofton, and Kristen Starks. We stand united, empowered by our history, inspired by the genealogy of Black student movements and the fruits of their labor. We know two things to be true. We know it is not just our incomparable contributions to the university that makes us deserving of consideration. Rather, it is the essence of our humanity. We know that the actions and inaction of this university are direct results of white supremacy. The Board of Trustees has abused its power by dismissing the concerns of Black students on campus and failing to provide an adequate response to the clear positions taken by students, staff, and faculty. It is clear the board feels as though they aren't obligated to address the needs of those they don't consider equal.
As written in the March 17, 2021 statement by the board, they stated, "We believe, however, that removing building names is inconsistent with the pursuit of our educational mission, which informs all of our actions." The board, specifically Rector Quealy, in the meeting with members of the Black Student Coalition mentioned that they've done a lot to foster a more inclusive community through the expansion of the multicultural space and supporting the creation of the Africana Studies Department. It should be noted that both of these are student-led initiatives. One of the main tactics of those with institutional power is bringing up previous work to justify dismissing new ideas and feeling underappreciated for what they have accomplished, which were some of the sentiments displayed in the meeting. Also reiterating that their work came from student labor, which they benefit off of to make themselves look good. This insinuates that what we've asked of the board to do is too much because they've already made a lot of effort to make Black students feel satisfied. Instead of taking the opportunity to center the voice of Black students, Rector Quealy redirected the conversation to himself and centered his own feelings by saying that we are overlooking what has already been done on this campus.
So for these reasons, we must analyze the power structure as it stands with the understanding that it is not designed to serve us. So as you can see, these are the main sort of groups in our sort of institutional hierarchy. You have your board of trustees, the president, the provost, the deans, faculty, students, staff, and then our facilities and dining staff and related staff members as well. So with this, we know that generally, as it stands, the Board of Trustees are the ones with the most power and it sort of flows down, but it wasn't always this way. Universities used to function where students were at the center and that the Board of Trustees would help make the president's life easier, and the president would help serve the provost would help serve the deans, who would help serve the faculty, who would help serve students, really recognizing that students are at the heart of the university. However, in the late 19th century, with boards shifting more from clergy to businessmen, and then especially after World War II, with the baby boom influencing the growth and increase in complexity of the university, we ended up with a board of trustees that is now essentially a corporation, has the same legal status as a corporation at private universities, and this corporate model dominates US higher education. In addition, we know that the boards are self-perpetuating at private universities where they choose their own new members and they're not accountable to the general citizenry like public universities. So we know that we have that university now as it stands where the power is concentrated at the top and they feel as though that they have the power to set all the agendas and make all decisions as they see fit. But we know that we are the bulk of this university community and that we have the power and the right to collectively shape our present and future.
So then the question becomes, how do we mobilize across this power structure to benefit the community at large? Well, there's a plethora of ways, but I think the first thing is that we have to establish a community and a culture where we don't feel that we are confined to our title. So it's not just students. Okay, sorry. It's not just students, faculty, and staff. Rather, we have to create a culture of collectiveness. And so the theme that we have with Protect Our Web, when we say protect our web, we're not calling on the institution to protect us because we know it is not designed to do that. We are calling on the people within it to create community because we keep us safe. And we know that in all aspects of the world, in all our different roles. We know because we've done it. Specifically, when it comes to this Black student fight, we've seen it happen for generations. Alumni have participated in similar initiatives for generations. And a part of the reason that it's just now becoming urgent is because we have created conditions where we're able to mobilize, to imagine, and to affect material change. And so we have power, not because we are allowed it, but because it's ours. And we have proof of us using it and how we have been able to affect change at the university by using it. A lot of people talk about lip service or listening tours. And so the question that we're posing to our community is, what are you doing to move the needle? We weren't given these things that we have now that built community, we built them. When it comes to feminism and it comes to women's rights, WGSS came out of faculty combination, but also student movements. How did we get Africana? Student movements, but then we did it in conjunction with faculty. And at one point, admin even came on board. We see even from students now with our credit, no credit, that was student led, and we pushed it to affect material change. And the faculty was able to join us. And so we have to now look at what type of change we are trying to make. Specifically, if we give an example of faculty, your line of thinking is established by what you move for. So the symbolic movement to change the names, while it is important, it must be in line with the material request of Black students. And it must be in line with the work that you're doing to affect material change. The same with students, the same with staff. All of us can create a community where the material changes that we're pushing for help to protect each other. And so it is our responsibility to each other to make sure that we understand that symbolic change can move the discussion, but material change can sustain a movement. We must learn to leverage our power and to act not only when it is convenient, but where it is most necessary, looking at ways that we can use our power and the ways that we are protected in this system to help the people that aren't as protected. Because what we've seen from this showing of the Board of Trustees is that to them, none of us are protected. All of us are less than. It didn't matter that students disaffiliated to them. It didn't matter that faculty passed resolutions. All of us were on the even playing field to them. And so the best way to affect change is for us to unite in that way and call for acts of collectivism, one that goes past symbolic acts and actually affects material change in all of our actions. And that is how we got to our initial demands. Our demands were as stated. Demand 1, we demanded the names of Ryland and Mitchell Freeman Hall be changed, specifically removing the names of Robert Ryland and Douglas Southall Freeman from these buildings. The Black Student Coalition recognizes that this is a symbolic change and does not cause systemic difference in the function of our university. However, it is an important symbolic change because it signals our line of thinking and our belief system and ideology behind our material changes, similar to demand 2 and 3. Demand 2 being, we demand expanded academic accommodations for the students in light of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. And demand 3 being, We demand the university subsidize off-campus mental health services for Black students due to the underdevelopment and understaffing of counseling and psychological services. Which leads us to, at our March 26th meeting, Paul Quealy asked the Black Student Coalition numerous times what our 4th, 5th, 6th demands would be. And because of this, we would like to reiterate that we stand firm on demands 1 to 3, but it is at their request that, we stand firm on demand 1 to 3, with the understanding that not only is it our right to petition the board, but it is at their request that we do so. Therefore, the Black Student Coalition is issuing demands 4, 5, and 6, as requested by the rector of the Board of Trustees. When mentioned, I'm not sure that he thought we would have any, but we are coming with them. We would like to reiterate that we are in no way backing down from our initial demands. Rather, these additional demands are fully directed at the Board of Trustees upon their request of what they can do to affect material change at this university and what is in their purview. And we believe that anything less than full cooperation would show that the board operates in bad faith, and once again, cannot be counted on to ensure students' well-being. As we approach the end of the semester and prepare for a long struggle, we need to secure a good showing of faith by the board to commit to improving the welfare of students. This new set of demands, the additional demands, should be easy for the Board of Trustees to meet and will affect connected material changes to our initial demands. They are as follows.
We demand the Board of Trustees immediately abandon its plan to name the terrace of the New Humanities Commons after an enslaved person or persons. 5, we demand the Board of Trustees create an endowed chair for the Africana Studies program and begin hiring for the position in the fall of 2021. 6, we demand the Board of Trustees release a plan to expand the multicultural space and house the space on its own standalone building.
We would like to reiterate the fact that this is not us giving up. Our goal as the Black Student Coalition has always been to improve the well-being of Black students at UR. And so we are changing our game plan to gain the most possible advantages for Black students. Our fight has always been greater than names. And in the large well of problems that we face, these are only just drops in the water. We are a long way to rectifying everything for Black students on this campus, but this expansion to our original demands will help us achieve goals that Black students have been working for years. And these have been things that Black students have demonstrated their need for them. So we believe that in line with all of that work that's already been done by our peers and other Black students that came before us, that work should be highlighted and finally secured after so much labor has been put into it. Because the Board of Trustees has asked us for more demands, we feel that this expansion is the best decision for us at the moment, and that listening and centering Black students is our primary goal, because that benefits the entire university community. Without the support of faculty, staff, and the rest of the student population, our fight would not have gotten as far as we have. And like any true movement, we are so grateful for the solidarity that we have been able to achieve on this campus, and that has allowed us to move as far as we can in order to improve the situation of Black students at UR. So we'd like to thank everyone for attending, and we'd like to thank everyone for their continued effort so far. Thank you.